Hello there. I am the Joconde, often known as the Mona Lisa, and I am delighted to share my story of creation by the brilliant artist, Leonardo da Vinci. You see, my journey began in the early 16th century in Florence, Italy, when Leonardo da Vinci was commissioned to paint a portrait of Lisa Gherardini, the wife of a wealthy Florentine merchant. Little did I know that this endeavor would turn me into an iconic figure for centuries to come. Leonardo was a master of his craft, always seeking perfection in every brushstroke and detail. For him, it was not just about capturing my physical likeness, but also infusing my portrait with an inner depth and mystery that would captivate all who gazed upon me. As he worked on me, Leonardo meticulously blended colors, creating the subtle sfumato technique that gave me my soft, enigmatic smile and my captivating, soul-piercing eyes. Every layer of paint added a new dimension to my expression, making it impossible for anyone to decipher my thoughts and emotions entirely. The process of my creation took several years, as Leonardo would often put me aside to work on other projects. He was a man of many interests and talents, which is why some say my portrait remained unfinished. Yet, I believe that it was this very unfinished quality that added to my allure and fascination over the centuries. Leonardo's dedication and passion for his art were evident in the way he treated me as his subject. He would converse with me as if I were a real person, trying to understand my essence, my inner being. It is said that he would keep me with him wherever he went, a constant companion and muse. When my portrait was completed, it became the pride of Leonardo's collection. He cherished me deeply and kept me close until the end of his days. After his death, I was acquired by various collectors and eventually found my way into the Louvre Museum in Paris, where I now reside, welcoming millions of visitors from all corners of the world. I am honored to have been a creation of the genius Leonardo da Vinci, and I take pride in being an enduring symbol of art and beauty. My existence has transcended time and boundaries, and I continue to inspire and touch the hearts of people across generations. For that, I owe it all to the remarkable talent of my creator, Leonardo da Vinci. I am that woman with the pearl, immortalized in Johannes Vermeer's painting. My existence came to be through the deft strokes of Vermeer's brush, as he captured the essence of my being on canvas. Vermeer was a masterful artist, and he chose to paint me, drawn to the allure of my features and the radiant luminescence of the pearl resting upon my neck. In his studio, I stood as a live model, and he meticulously studied my every contour, my expression, and the play of light upon my face. Through his artistry, Vermeer brought me to life, imbuing me with a timeless beauty that has captivated countless hearts through the centuries. The painting has given me an eternal presence, far beyond the confines of my own mortal existence. In the eyes of the beholder, I have become an enigmatic figure, inspiring wonder and curiosity about my identity and the thoughts hidden within my gaze. Countless interpretations have been woven around me, and I have been the subject of many discussions and theories, yet the truth of my origins lies with Vermeer and his artistic vision. Though I cannot speak in reality, in the realm of imagination and art, I am given a voice to tell my story. Created by Vermeer's hand, I now exist as a muse, forever adorning the walls of galleries and the pages of art books, a symbol of beauty, mystery, and the power of artistic creation.
As Michelangelo Merisi de Caravaggio, I can only begin by saying that my life and art have been a tumultuous journey, filled with passion, controversy, and a relentless pursuit of truth and beauty. From my early years in Milan to my later travels across Italy, my artistic expression has been deeply intertwined with the events and emotions of my life. In my paintings, I sought to capture the human form with unparalleled realism and emotional intensity. Light and shadow played a crucial role in my works, creating a dramatic chiaroscuro effect that added depth and power to my compositions. I wanted my art to move people, to evoke genuine emotions, whether it was through religious scenes, portraits, or still life. My early days in Rome were marked by a struggle for recognition, but it was here that I found inspiration in the works of the great Renaissance masters. I aimed to challenge the conventions of the time, infusing my art with a raw and naturalistic quality that wasn't always well received by the artistic establishment. My life was often troubled, marred by confrontations, and a propensity for getting into trouble. My fiery temper and impulsive nature led me into several altercations, which even resulted in a tragic incident that forced me to flee Rome. Despite these hardships, I never let go of my passion for art, and my style continued to evolve. One of the defining moments of my life was my conversion to painting religious scenes. It was in these works that I found a way to combine my penchant for realism with profound spiritual themes. The Calling of St. Matthew and The Conversion of St. Paul are prime examples of my ability to infuse religious narratives with a new sense of immediacy and human emotion. My art often courted controversy, as I didn't shy away from depicting religious figures and biblical scenes in a manner that some deemed irreverent or scandalous. However, I believe that my approach brought these stories closer to the people, making them more relatable and accessible. Despite my achievements as an artist, my personal life remained troubled. I continued to be involved in altercations and legal issues that overshadowed my artistic success. As the years passed, I faced increasing challenges and adversaries, but my devotion to art never wavered. In the end, my life was cut short at the age of 38, leaving the art world bereft of one of its most influential figures. Yet, my legacy endured, and my art continued to inspire generations of artists who came after me. Today, I am humbled to be remembered as one of the pioneers of the Baroque movement and an artist who dared to challenge the norms of his time, leaving behind a body of work that remains as powerful and captivating as ever.
As Pablo Picasso, the renowned artist, I find it rather challenging to put into words the essence of my art. My work has always been a profound exploration of the human spirit, emotions, and the world around us. Through my art, I attempt to capture the complexities of life and reveal the hidden layers of existence. My journey as an artist has been one of constant experimentation and evolution. I believe in pushing the boundaries of traditional artistic conventions, exploring new techniques, and embracing the abstract and surreal. My art is an expression of my innermost thoughts and feelings, often mirroring the turbulence and beauty of the human experience. I have never been content with resting on a particular style. Instead, I prefer to move fluidly between different periods, exploring diverse movements such as Cubism, Surrealism, and even classical-inspired works. Each phase of my artistic career has been a reflection of my personal growth and the world's shifting dynamics. Cubism, for instance, allowed me to deconstruct reality and present multiple viewpoints simultaneously, providing a fresh way of seeing and understanding the world. Through fractured forms and geometric shapes, I sought to challenge the traditional representation of reality and portray a deeper, multidimensional truth. As for my blue and rose periods, there were times of profound introspection and emotional exploration. During the blue period, I delved into themes of poverty, loneliness, and sorrow, reflecting on the human condition and the struggles many faced. In contrast, the rose period celebrated the joy of life, love, and the circus, injecting a sense of optimism into my art. Later in my career, I delved into surrealism, where I explored the realms of the subconscious and tapped into the dreams and fantasies of the human mind. This period allowed me to challenge the very concept of reality, blurring the lines between the rational and the irrational. Throughout my life, my art has been my language, my way of communicating with the world. Each stroke of the brush, each sculpted form, and each artistic creation has been an extension of my soul. I often said, art is the lie that enables us to realize the truth. By distorting reality and presenting it in a new light, I aim to reveal deeper truths about the human experience and provoke contemplation. It brings me great joy to know that my art has left a lasting impact on the world, inspiring countless artists and art lovers alike. Even now, as my legacy lives on, I hope that my art continues to spark conversation, evoke emotions, and ignite the creative flame within those who encounter it.
Art, to me, is a playful exploration of ideas, a realm where I can challenge conventions and redefine the boundaries of creativity. My approach to art is deeply rooted in the Dada and Surrealist movements, and I find myself constantly seeking to subvert traditional notions of aesthetics and meaning. My ready-mades, such as the infamous fountain, are a deliberate rejection of the conventional art-making process. By presenting ordinary, everyday objects as art, I aim to question the very essence of artistic creation and the role of the artist. It is not about the object itself, but rather about the concept and the intellectual engagement it provokes. In the act of choosing and presenting a ready-made, I act as an artist-curator, elevating the mundane into the realm of the extraordinary. By removing the object from its original context and placing it in the gallery space, I invite viewers to re-evaluate their preconceived notions about art and the world around them. Through my work, I seek to break free from the constraints of beauty and aesthetics. I challenge the art world's obsession with the beautiful, focusing instead on the power of ideas and the intellectual stimulation that art can offer. My interest in movement and kinetic art also reflects my fascination with challenging the static nature of traditional art forms. With pieces like Nude Descending a Staircase, I aim to capture the dynamism of the human form in motion, presenting a multidimensional perspective of a single moment. The concept of art as an idea is central to my philosophy. By emphasizing the intellectual aspect of art, I hope to engage viewers in a more profound and contemplative experience. Art, to me, is not solely about visual pleasure, it is a conduit for stimulating the mind and encouraging critical thinking. My work may be seen as provocative or even absurd, but that is precisely the point. By pushing the boundaries of acceptability, I hope to shake the art world out of its complacency and encourage a more profound engagement with the artistic process. In the end, my art is an ongoing conversation with the spectator, a dialogue that challenges conventions, sparks curiosity, and invites contemplation. It is not about providing definitive answers, but rather about opening up new avenues of thought and inquiry, questioning the very nature of art, and challenging the way we perceive the world.
I try to reconstruct a point of view from the exploded coordinates of the contemporary experience of time and space. A point of view is as much the structuring element of a construction of visual worlds as the metaphorical place from which a thought or an opinion can be elaborated. Faced with phenomena such as acceleration, globalization, and virtualization, perceived on a collective scale through technological transformations, scientific progress, and the expansion of the media, my images contribute to redefining certain aesthetic and ethical conditions of the position from which to apprehend a world whose reality seems to escape. However, the strategy that seems to be at work here paradoxically consists in multiplying the dimensions and combining the scales. Modern artists have taught us to pluralize perspectives, to introduce time and movement into the image, and to offer us insights into reality from its hidden dimensions. Faced with the unacceptable evolution of history and culture, they have, for example, explored the power of abstraction to influence its course. As Piet Mondrian affirmed in 1920 in his text Natural Reality and Abstract Reality, abstraction is not opposed to reality, it works it from within, like its pure language. It is up to the painter to reveal its strength. The dialogue that I initiated in 2017 with Mondrian's work is exemplary in this respect. He introduces into the space of the master's studio, modeled in a 3D image, his own pictorial gesture, in the form of a stylized orb. Seeming to be executed at the speed of graffiti, the form is as much about the mannerism of gestural painting as it is about aesthetic vandalism that profaned the geometric purity of the studio. But the artistic challenge here lies less in the qualities of the form painted with the Google tilt brush than in the action of opening up the pictorial space to another dimension, that of virtual reality. Like Mondrian's abstract reality, this one works on reality from the inside, but this time as its impure language, both pop and video game. Among the pioneering figures of net art in the 90s, I never ceased to cause connections between new technologies of representation and the plan of the real experience of the world. It shows that any position on this plane, any point of view likely to be drawn there, must now come to terms with virtual coordinates. But I affirm at the same time that this game only makes sense if it allows us to take a position on the future of the world in which we live. From my expeditions in the far north and in the Amazon, I have retained the idea of a planetary consciousness that is both situated and polycentric. Where is our mind? He asks in a video that articulates urban life and Earth's orbit. The answer therefore necessarily lies in a moving point located between where our feet are and the International Space Station. I thus construct the exorbitant perspective that allows us to hold in our hands the orb that at the same time contains us. Key symbol here, the orb, in my opinion, partially disrupts the perfect sphere of Copernican classicism. The images of Saturn's rings in the ASMR Saturn video contribute to this astronomical recomposition. They crackle with little noises from the mouth, as if the rocks and ice that make them up were melting under the tongue like those sparkling and tangy powders invented by confectioners. No more locked in the skull than the gaze in the eye at the bottom of its orbit, the spirit moves 360 degrees. As if it became possible to revolve around what surrounds us, to zoom out at high speed to scroll through the weightlessness of the virtual, along multiple axes, the world that encompasses us.